Today we're diving deep into one of the most incredible, most persistent mysteries in modern history. What really happened to Subhas Chandra Bose? This is a wild story. It's got revolution, it's got spies, and it's got secrets that stretch all the way from the battlefields of World War II to the highest offices in both Moscow and New Delhi. So the official story, the one you'll find in most history books, sounds pretty simple. It's August 1945. Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, this absolute titan of India's freedom movement, dies in a plane crash in Taiwan. It was presented as this tragic but totally conclusive end to an amazing life. But what if that whole story was just that, a story? What if it was a cover, a carefully built lie designed to hide a truth that was just so much stranger, so much more complex? Well, that's the question that has fueled a 70-year search for answers. You know, the first doubts about that plane crash story, they didn't come from some fringe theorists years later. The cracks started to show almost right away, and they came from some of the most powerful intelligence agencies on the planet. Now get this. This quote is from a British intelligence report. And look at the timing. We're talking weeks after the so-called fatal crash. The British, the very people Netaji was fighting against, were sending secret memos back to London saying their number one enemy might not only be alive, but that he was in the Soviet Union. I mean, it's the most logical question in the world, right? Why on earth would a top-tier intelligence agency even be floating this idea if they were sure he was dead? It tells you that even then, behind closed doors, nobody was buying the official story. And that leads us straight into the heart of this whole thing, the Russia connection. For Netaji, heading to the Soviet Union wasn't some random choice. It was a calculated move, a final, desperate roll of the dice. His plan was actually pretty brilliant. The Axis powers were toast, so he needed a new, powerful friend to keep the fight for India's freedom going. And he figured, who's more powerful and more anti-British than Joseph Stalin? He wanted Soviet backing for one last massive push to kick the British out of India for good. Now, over the years, little bits and pieces have leaked out from declassified files, and they paint a really chilling picture. The evidence suggests Netaji did make it to Manchuria, which was controlled by the Soviets at the time. From there, it looks like he was taken into Russian custody, and some of these reports claim he was held in the brutal Gulag prison system for years. And this wasn't just some rumor. We're talking about declassified CIA reports from the height of the Cold War. They stated, in black and white, that the belief that Bose was alive in the Soviet Union well into the 1950s was credible. Think about that. The CIA was taking this seriously. And yet, to this day, Russia has never opened its files on the subject. What are they hiding? But the plot thickens because the story gets even stranger when you look at what was happening back home in a newly independent India. By 1947, India was free, but the one man who many believed was the true architect of that freedom was nowhere to be found. And this might be the single most explosive piece of evidence in the whole mystery, a secret letter, written by India's very first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. In it, he doesn't just acknowledge that Netaji is in Russia, he does it with this chilling phrase, he may be a war criminal. Now that doesn't sound like, let's bring our hero home. It sounds like a warning. And right here, you can see the huge conflict at play. To the people of India, Netaji was a legend, a hero who gave up everything for their freedom. But to the new political class just taking power, his return wasn't a blessing. It was a threat, a massive threat. So why were they so scared of him coming back? Well, it's simple, really. His popularity was off the charts, maybe even more than the leaders who were in charge. If Netaji came home, the people would have flocked to him. He could have easily become India's new leader, and that would have completely shattered the new political order. And this fear seems to be why we've seen decades of total silence from the government. I'm talking multiple governments from different political parties all doing the same thing, refusing to declassify the crucial files, intelligence reports, letters to and from Russia, KGB documents. Every time someone asks, the door just gets slammed shut. So for researchers, for his family, for millions of followers, the conclusion became pretty inescapable. It felt like the truth itself, whatever it was being treated as a danger to the state. So, okay, let's step back for a second. You take the British intelligence, the CIA reports, the political fear in India, and top it off with decades and decades of secrecy. And when you put all those pieces together, a truly shocking story starts to take shape. Let's just walk through the whole theory. Step 1. Netaji fakes his death in the plane crash and makes it to Russia. Step 2. He becomes a pawn in the great game of the Cold War. Step 3. The new Indian government, terrified of the political chaos his return would cause, just leaves him there. Step 4. Some theories say he finally made it back, but in secret, living as a mysterious holy man known as Gumnaami Baba. And then, Step 5. He lives out his days and dies in complete obscurity. A national hero who was just erased from the history he helped write. You see, the story of Netaji's disappearance isn't just some old historical cold case. It's way more than that. It's become this deep, nagging question for the conscience of an entire nation. Think about it. This man gave his entire life, he sacrificed absolutely everything for one single dream, a free India. And in return for that ultimate sacrifice, the nation he helped create has for decades denied him the one thing his memory deserves more than anything else: the plain, simple truth. And this isn't some fringe idea. Millions of people believe this. It's this painful, heartbreaking thought that captures the whole tragedy. Their hero didn't die in a crash. He was abandoned, forgotten by the very country he fought for. And that's why this whole thing feels so unfinished. The truth isn't lost to time. It's sitting right now in locked government vaults, in unopened files, in Moscow and New Delhi, and all those documents are still whispering his name. And that leaves us with this final, powerful idea that maybe solving this mystery isn't just up to governments or spies. Maybe it's up to the people. That the day India as a nation finally stands up and demands the truth about its lost hero, maybe that's the day he will finally come home.